Hi guys, welcome back to my kitchen for another video. Today I'm going to bring you along as I make dinner for tonight, and we're going to have something that I've been intrigued by for a little while now, gyros. So I actually made that earlier today, but I will take you back to show you how I did that later. Right now we're going to be making some fresh Laffa bread to go with it. I was going to buy Laffa bread, but my store didn't have any. And I did a quick Google search while I was in the store, and I saw it's not that complicated to make. So we're gonna try making that as well. We're gonna make some fresh tzatziki sauce to go with it as well. And that I know that I have a good recipe to make with vegan sour cream. I believe it uses sour cream. I just have to double check. Yes, it's sour cream. So I figured since I have a good tzatziki sauce, I will try and make the gyros to go with it. And we're also going to make some dessert for tonight. So I am finally ready now to start prepping dinner. I finished my computer work for the day. I washed some dishes that I had from yesterday. So now let's get working on our laffa dough, because that will need to rise, and while that's rising we can work on the sauce and dessert. So we're going to start working, like I said, on the laffa bread. And I am halving the recipe. So we're going to start off with the dry ingredients first. So I'm going to start with 4 cups of flour. So the full recipe calls for 2 1/4 tablespoons of yeast. I'm just going to add a little bit more. Sorry, a little bit more than 1 tablespoon. Next is a tablespoon of sugar and a teaspoon of salt. We're going to mix this together. Okay, I'm going to put on the splash guard now, because I have pre-measured my water, which for the half recipe I need 1.5 cups, but it's still pretty warm. So I don't want to add it until I'm actually mixing the dough. But first we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of olive oil, because that is half of a 1/4 cup. Okay, now I'm going to turn on the machine, and while it's mixing I'll add in the warm water, and we're going to need it for about 10 minutes. So I did end up adding more water. So now we can get this dough out. Actually, before I get it out, I have a bowl here. Let me make some space here. Okay, so I've got my bowl here. I'm gonna spray it with some oil spray. I'm gonna get the dough ball in here, spray the top. We're gonna cover this and let this rest for an hour. Now let me clean up the space here. And while that's resting, the first thing we're going to get working on is the tzatziki sauce. I would have started with a dessert, but I need some hot water for that, and I'm getting that. And I got that up now to boil, so we have to wait on that. So we're going to start off with some cucumbers. The recipe that I have calls for half of a medium cucumber. I like it a lot in there, so I always do a little bit more. So we're going to leave the peel on, so I rinsed that off. I'm going to cut off the ends, because I don't want those to end up in the final product. Let me actually remove this. And I'm going to shred up these cucumbers. By leaving the peel on, we're going to end up with beautiful color in the end product. Okay, now it's been a little while since I made this, but I believe next we're going to strain this. We're going to let it sit with some salt to remove any extra moisture, but let me make sure. Grate the cucumber with a peel on, squeeze as much of the moisture out of it as possible. Okay, so we can do it 2 ways. So the way that I'm going to do it so that you guys can see what I'm doing, is we're gonna get, 1 second. So I got the bowl out, I got a paper towel, and I'm gonna take a little bit of it at a time and squeeze it. And you can just do this over the sink. But since I have you guys set up on the island and I don't feel like moving the camera, and I have this bowl from the Laffa dough anyways, I'm gonna use it. And then I'm gonna lay it out on the paper towel to continue drying until I am ready to use it. Okay, now I'm done with the cutting board for now, I believe. So let me get this rinsed off. Okay, so I'm gonna make the sauce straight in a jar so that it can sit in the fridge until we are ready to use it. So I am using a vegan soy sauce so that I can have it with the meat. Just gotta open it up. We need 1 cup of this, so it'll be about 3/4 of this container. And one of the reasons why I love these jars is because it has the measurements on the side, and I can see right in here how much we have. I just want to make sure that I'm filling it up all the way and there's no air bubbles, so that I get the correct measurements. Okay, this is enough. Now I need 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, salt to taste, and pepper to taste as well. Next up, we're gonna need some dill, minced up. So first thing I'm doing with this is that I'm removing the fronds from the stem, and I'm gonna get it onto the cutting board. And I'm picking out the ones that are still looking good. I'm gonna mince this up quickly. I'm gonna get the dill into the jar. And last is our cucumbers. Oh, I probably should have done this in a bigger jar. Should we transfer it now?
Yeah.
I think so too. Okay, so let's move this. Got a bigger jar here. I'm gonna try to not make a very big mess. Okay, then I got a helper here that wants to mix this together. So let me get the cucumbers in there. And go ahead, you can mix that.
Whatever.
Okay, I'm gonna taste this. Let's see. Wow, I love it. I'm gonna set this in the fridge. So today and tomorrow is Rosh Chodesh. Rosh Chodesh is the start of a new Hebrew month, and tradition in my family is that we have Jello. So because it's today and tomorrow, we're making 2, but we're also having some guests come over today. So we're making 3, so there will be enough for everyone. And I bought a variety, so we have strawberry, raspberry, and lemon.
Yeah.
So you want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna get you a bowl.
I want to try the lemon.
Okay, you know how to make it?
You're going to pour the water in for me?
Okay, so we need 2 cups of water. We're just gonna follow the directions on the box, which usually is 2 cups of boiling water. Okay, so let me get some. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, I'm bringing cups. And yeah, we're gonna make 3 for sure of each flavor. And if it's too much, we'll make 4. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm gonna prepare an extra cup here. Okay.
We're having it with cake too?
So since she's making the lemon, it reminded me that in the store, when I saw the lemon flavored Jello, I was thinking that we made a lemon poppy cake, which you didn't see the video yet, but I stocked up my freezer again. So I'm gonna take out the lemon poppy and we're gonna let this the frost over here, and we'll have both options for dessert. You can have either or both. Okay, now you can start putting it in.
I need help putting it in. I need like a measure.
You can use the 1/2 cup measure.
How many times? Once?
I don't know. Okay, let me do 2 more cups. You can open up the next flavor.
That's
Okay, next flavor.
it's raspberry. Oh, I smell it again.
I'm gonna set this in the fridge so they can jelly.
Jelly the jello. Really?
Let me clean up this counter now while it's still easy to do it. And like this, it'll be ready for us when we're ready to shape the laffas. Okay, so the dough needs another 22 minutes to rest. But you can already see that it is rising beautifully. Look at this beautiful dome up here. So we're gonna let this rest for another 22 minutes and then we'll come back because I believe that, yeah, this is all that we have to do right now. Okay, so I'm gonna set this aside and we can bring our dough back. And we're gonna divide this into 6 equal balls. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weigh it out so that we can try to get more or less the same size. This dough feels so good. Same size laffas. So this dough weighs 1,070 grams. So let me divide that in 6. Okay, so each one of them should be about 180 grams. So I cleared the scale. Perfect. So you can shape it into a rough ball. I'm gonna clear that. That's too much. Too little. Still too little. Perfect. And just flatten it. Doesn't have to be too tight because we're gonna roll it out flat soon. Okay, so I got this equally divided. So we're just forming rough balls.
We need this last one.
I'm gonna get them, well, you made them nice tight balls, so we're gonna have to let them rest a little bit longer. And I didn't need this, so let me put this away.
You said nice tight balls.
That's true, I did say that.
So I need them nice and tight.
Okay, so we're gonna cover this again. We're gonna let it rest for 10 minutes. And while that's going, I'm gonna get out my cast iron skillet. I'm gonna get it over the heat. I'm gonna get this nice and hot so it's ready for us to be able to cook the laffas. Oh my goodness, I didn't hit record. Started rolling them out. So we are rolling the dough balls out to 10-inch circles, which luckily this rolling pin has the markings, so it's about this big. So we're just about there with this one. I already rolled out the first one, and that one's in the heated up cast iron skillet. But since you didn't see me roll anything out, because this is my second one, let me grab another one. And this is what I'm doing. I'm just rolling it, turning, rolling it, turning. And I keep turning it so that it doesn't stick to the counter. So this one that was actually rolled into a ball, not just shaped into a ball, is a little bit harder to roll out. I'm going to get this dough into the pan. I'm going to let it cook on both sides. Okay, once it's bubbling a little bit and the edges are starting to look lighter, then they're potentially done on the first side. I'm going to try to lift it up without breaking it. And look at that beautiful color. I'm going to flip it and let it cook on the second side. Okay. Now over here I have my towel. We're going to put it in here so that it stays nice and soft. And now we can get our next one in here. And we're going to repeat this until all of them are cooked through. Now, while that's cooking, I'm rolling out another dough ball to get it ready. These beautiful bubbles. I think this one's bubbling up the best yet. Can you see the bubbles? Yeah, you can see that one. Beautiful. This one's a snug fit. Where am I gonna pick it up? Here we go. Oh, could have used some more time on that side. I guess I'll turn it back. Bubbling up over here. We're gonna taste test our first one here. Look at that, it's beautiful.
It looks so good.
Yeah. Tear off a piece. Oh wow. Wow.
That is really good.
It is delicious. This is getting me really excited for dinner.
I chose because I'm taking a second piece. I'm not going to take more because I want to be hungry for dinner. And if I eat more, I'm going to eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then I won't be hungry. One more.
It's really good. Wow. These last ones are bubbling up a lot nicer because I made the heat higher. Even though the skillet was hot already, I had it on a low heat. So I see now that for next time, because after the taste test, we are definitely making this again. We need it on a higher heat. And this is our last one. Okay, and this last one is done. So we're gonna let this cool over here in the towel so that they stay nice and soft. I'm actually gonna flip it over because the bottom got soggy. We're gonna leave this to cool here, and we're gonna leave it out as well because the meat will be seared in here once we are ready to eat. So I will see you guys later to bring this all together. Okay, so we came out to the garden to harvest some lettuce. There are so many weeds in this bed. I'm gonna pull up just a few of the bigger ones over here next to the lettuce. When I start, it's hard to finish. Okay, I'm done. So I'm just gonna harvest one of these heads, and I think I'll do this first one over here. And this is meant to be such a loose head of lettuce. I'm just gonna go to the base and cut it down. And we have a gorgeous head of lettuce. We're gonna go inside, take this apart, and clean it so it'll be ready for us to eat. gorgeous. Okay, so I have the lettuce here that we harvested. We had a good rain last night, so this is nice and dirty because it was right on the soil. So I think these bottom leaves, actually no, just that one is very pale. This one also. I'm just gonna take the lettuce off of the core and set it into our bowl here. Not our bowl, our salad spinner. We're gonna let it soak to get it clean. So we didn't taste this variety of lettuce yet, so I'm excited to try it. So I'm just gonna fill this up with water and let it soak for now. Okay, now that it's full of water, all the dirt is coming off easily, but we're gonna let it sit for a little bit before we do anything more with it. And I think the next thing we're gonna do, let me pull up the recipe again. So it says to serve it with warm bread. So I guess I'm gonna take our laffa, so I'm gonna put it into the oven to warm it up. Got a baking sheet out, and we're gonna unwrap the laffas, and we're just gonna lay it out here to warm it up. I think the one that we tore into to taste, I'm gonna leave out, and I'm gonna get this into the oven, and I'll be in there from now as it's preheating until we are ready to eat. Okay, tzatziki sauce is made. Tomato, which I have here, we're gonna slice it. A red onion sliced, lettuce chopped. Okay. Okay, I've got some bowls out that we're gonna put our toppings in. I'm gonna put this in the middle of the table and everybody can top their own gyros with whatever they would like. Could probably use a bigger bowl. Yeah, that's better. Okay, I moved that aside so it's not in my face as I'm prepping the rest of this. I am thinly slicing this tomato. Okay, this will fit in a smaller bowl. So now let's see what's going on with the lettuce. I think this is ready to be drained and spun dry. So I cleaned the board because I know that for myself, I don't like tomatoes, and it had a lot of tomato juice on there. Let me spill this. Let me spin it again. I believe that this is good now. Delicious. And the recipe does say to have chopped lettuce to put into, is this called sandwiches? Like, what would you call this? I think I'm gonna use the bigger bowl for the lettuce as well. Now we're gonna get to cutting into our gyro meat. And while I cut this, I'm gonna remove the fat here that has congealed on it. Okay. So I'm gonna cut this into, you can't even see what I'm doing, 1/8 of an inch thick slices. So basically very thin. And let me take you back now to this morning when I baked this up. Okay, so I'm halving the recipe, and the recipe does call for a small onion. I'm using a very small onion. I'm adding some garlic in here. And I'm gonna very finely chop this. Okay, we're gonna transfer this into a bowl. And the recipe does call for both lamb and ground beef. But because I'm halving the recipe, I'm only going to use one, and I'm using ground beef. That was my oven reaching temperature. I did preheat it to 325. Let me get out the rest of the ingredients. Okay, I've got cumin, black pepper, paprika and cayenne to substitute for Aleppo pepper. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly because I don't have any of that, along with oregano, kosher salt, and I'm using matzo meal instead of breadcrumbs because this is what I have right now. I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of the crumbs. Oh, I should have halved that. I forgot that I'm halving the recipe. So let me remove some of that. I'm halving the recipe. I'm gonna add some oregano, and if you've seen one of my recent videos, I showed you our go-to meals. And over there, we made a Mediterranean beef and rice. And Mediterranean spices have become our favorite. I need more of that. Next, we're adding some kosher salt. Follow it with some paprika and a dash of our cayenne and a little bit of black pepper. And before we mix all of this up, I'm gonna put this away and I'm gonna get our pan ready to bake this. So the recipe does call for a loaf pan. I am instead gonna use this. It's probably the same length, it's just wider. But I feel like using this today, so this is what we're gonna use. And now we're just gonna combine all of this until it is mixed well and it holds together. And you want it to be a dense mixture. Okay, this is holding together beautifully. I'm just reviewing the ingredients again to make sure I got everything. Okay, so I did spray the pan with some oil. And now we're gonna press this meat mixture into the pan. Okay, this is what it's looking like. And we're gonna get this into 325-degree oven for about 50 to 60 minutes. So let's do this. Our oven is ready, so we can just stick this right in. Okay, our meat here is ready. There's lots of juices in there. After 50 minutes, I checked it with a thermometer and it was not quite ready, so I did it for 55 minutes total. So now the recipe says to let this cool on the counter for 20 minutes, and then we're gonna set it in the fridge for, let me see what it says, a few hours or overnight. And it says that refrigeration will make the meat much easier to slice. So I'm gonna let it sit over here for a little bit, and then we'll get it into the fridge until we are ready to continue with this. Okay, so I've got all of them nicely cut. They're nice and thin, beautiful slices of meat. I'm gonna move this over to the other counter because we're gonna sear this in the cast iron skillet right now. Now I'm gonna get the fat from this pan into our cast iron skillet here. It's all cooking off before I have a chance to get it to spread over the entire. Ooh! Wow, it's hot. Okay, so right now I'm gonna get the meat in there and we're gonna sear them on both sides for a couple minutes to get a nice char on them and to heat them through. Oh, beautiful color on there. After a couple minutes on the second side, we can take it out.
As if I have to use some on the fork.
I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil between every batch, I think. I'm going to get a few more slices in. At this point, you're not looking to cook the meat because you already baked it until the internal temperature said that it's done. It's just to develop that color on the outside. So really, if your skillet is hot enough, it should not take a lot of time at all. Let me tell you about tonight's dinner while I put away the leftovers. First of all, you can see the leftovers. There's barely anything, which should tell you something. This was absolutely delicious dinner. Every single one of us loved it. My family members, everyone, and our guest absolutely gobbled up their entire plate. I want to have some pickled onions one day for lunch, so leftovers is great. We're going to transfer this into a jar, and I'm going to make the pickled onions well. I'll tell you some more. First of all, the flavor profile of the meat is absolutely delicious. That combo together with a homemade laffa, which was a great texture, and the flavor of the tzatziki sauce, oh my goodness, it was so delicious, and we will definitely be making this again. And this is what I love about experimenting with new recipes, because you never know when you're going to find a new favorite. And this one will absolutely become a favorite. I can see myself making this on repeat. I'm going to sprinkle some kosher salt over top. I'm going to add apple cider vinegar. Now, I know that trying a new recipe when you're having people over, not the safest thing to do. I see it as the best way to try new recipes. I didn't have too much apple cider vinegar, so I'm just going to add some regular vinegar as well. For me, trying new recipes when I have people over is the best way to try new recipes, because I get feedback from more people than just my family. And I'm going to top this off with some water. And if everyone liked it, everyone that has different food preferences enjoyed it, then I know that it's a good recipe. When it's just my family that likes it, I'm like, great, that's awesome, because it's another family favorite. But if everyone likes it, not just my family, that's just the best thing ever. So I'm going to set this in the fridge, and then we have some laffa to put away as well. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like this, more cooking, more trying new recipes, more gardening, consider subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one.